Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. For those of you who are celebrating, Happy Easter. Of course, if you're really celebrating, you're probably not watching me, so that's okay. But this is a video for all of those who are not celebrating Easter, or for those of you who are, but who, like most family gatherings, I feel, you like say hi to the relatives and then you escape as soon as you possibly can to do something enjoyable. So here's the enjoyable thing, and it's particularly meant as a tribute to the history of American Jewish approaches to Christian worship. Let's put it that way. What I mean specifically is, what on earth are Jews supposed to do on Christian holidays? It was a question that came up over and over again when I was a child, and certain modalities have evolved. And I just wanted to share them with you because they're just wonderful. The best is Jewish Christmas. Jewish Christmas consists of Chinese food and a movie, usually. I mean, growing up, that's what it always was. You go out for Chinese food and you go to a movie. And the reason is because Chinese restaurants were always open, because most of the Chinese were not Christian. If they were, they didn't care. They kept the restaurant open. And you would go to the Chinese restaurant and like half the synagogue would be there. Everybody would be there because there was nothing else to do. So we would all go out for Chinese food and then we would go to a movie because the theaters were always open on Christmas. Don't ask me why they kept the theaters open, but they were. And it's become a tradition. Chinese food particularly. The movie is optional, but Chinese food, you can't have Christmas if you're Jewish without going out for Chinese food. And when I moved to New York, it was even more amazing because I had friends, of course, and we would all go out for Chinese food on Christmas down to Chinatown. And I mean, you could have tipped Manhattan like this way because the entire Jewish population of Manhattan migrated down to Chinatown for Christmas to have dinner. It was a wonderful tradition. It still is a wonderful tradition. I mean, I remember when I was in college in Baltimore, we did it too. I mean, it was a thing. And a wonderful thing. I thought it was just so, communal and nice. And I don't know what anyone was doing for Christmas, whether they were sitting in church or, sitting at home and killing each other, or whatever people were doing. But I thought it was just a tremendous communal activity. And so there really is no equivalent of that for Easter, because Easter usually occurs during Passover. So we always talk about, Christmas and Hanukkah, but they're not really aligned. They really aren't. The only reason Hanukkah became a big gift-giving holiday was because Christmas was around the same time. But Easter is, of course, intimately involved with Passover. I mean, the Last Supper is a Passover Seder, and that sort of stuff. So, and it moves in the calendar, in the Christian calendar. It's not just December 25th. Easter moves around, and it follows loosely when Passover also occurs. So you've got them simultaneously. And the extent to which you celebrate Passover depends on how religious you are. Usually you do the first 2 days, and then if you're pretty religious, the last 2 days as well. Or you can just do the first 2 days and have 8 days where you just eat, matzah and things that are kosher for Passover. Or you can, go to McDonald's, as my grandfather used to do once in a while during Passover, to the horror of my grandmother and his children. So, there are all kinds of ways to handle it. But I have decided that in honor of the fabulous Jewish tradition of finding nifty things to do during holidays that we don't celebrate, I am going to have the Easter Film Score Spectacular. The Easter Film Score Spectacular this year is the 50th anniversary special edition reissue of Jaws. So if you're not celebrating Easter, go listen to Jaws. Listen to it even if you are. It's very entertaining. This is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful. This is a 3-disc set. And what it gives you is it's performed by the Hollywood Studio Symphony under John Williams, the composer himself. You get the complete original motion picture score, which is very different from the album that came out. The original album, the remastered original soundtrack album, had only 35 minutes of music. Whereas the original motion picture score has 54 minutes and 50 seconds of music, which is doubly nifty because there's a lot of other stuff. I mean, there's a fabulous track here called The Alimentary Canal, I mean, who'd want to miss that? You remember that scene when Hooper opens up the shark that they catch and pulls out all kinds of stuff like license plates and whatnot. I mean, there's got to be music for that. And Williams, of course, rises or descends to the occasion. He's in the alimentary canal, after all. And then on disc 3, you have 50th anniversary extras. You have additional cues and source music, 24 tracks worth. And it's really, really, really cool. That's another 48 minutes worth of stuff. So it's a very, very well-packed edition. And to make it even better, just goes to show you what labels could still do, when they feel motivated. It comes with 2 booklets. The first booklet is just a track listing booklet. And the second is, so look at that, yes, on the original poster, the nation's #1 best-selling book, now the screen super thriller. Yeah. You get the Jaws music log, an extensive, very well-written essay with session photos and photos from the movie and all kinds of stuff describing exactly how the thing was composed, how it was recorded, everything you'd ever wanted to know about the score, which is one of the great film scores of all time, of course. And, I was watching a game show recently, and they pointed out, it was a quiz question, that when this came out, which was 1975, somewhere around then, this was the origin of the summer blockbuster film. The idea that there should be something that everybody would go see that would be some sort of extravaganza that would be enormously popular. And Jaws started that whole tradition. It's really a wonderful, wonderful tradition of summer blockbusters with great scores, a lot of them written by John Williams. So if you want to have a Jewish Easter festivity, my suggestion is you sit down, relax, and either watch the movie or, get your Jaws 50th anniversary special edition, which is just amazing. And you can always go out for Chinese food. I can't cover that for you. You can make your own, or you can go to your local Chinese restaurant and keep the tradition alive. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me, and happy holiday. Take care.